Hey friends, blessed Easter to you. If you've been with me for this whole stretch, then that means we've been spending the last 47 days together digging into the book of Psalms, getting through, starting at Psalm 1 and going all the way through Psalm 7. So we have a lot of ground to cover yet since there are 150 Psalms. We'll pick it up again at some point. This will be our last evening encouragement for a little while here. Thanks for letting me spend these days and these weeks with you. It's been a joy to be with you. One of my very favorite parts of Easter Sunday is the end of Easter Sunday, Easter evening, where Jesus appears to his disciples in the upper room. And it says that the disciples were overjoyed when they saw the Lord. Now, it says they were overjoyed after they saw him and after they heard him speak. And I think their joy had something to do with what he spoke to them. And to really understand what he spoke to them, you got to go all the way back to Maundy Thursday. When Maundy Thursday, so before Jesus dies, before the suffering, before all the anxiety of running away from Jesus, before Peter denied him, before Judas betrayed him, before all of that, Jesus is with his disciples in that upper room and he gives them a promise of peace. He says, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid." He promised peace. And then, of course, over the next couple of days, they would have a hard time holding on to that promise. They would have a hard time finding peace, as Peter denied him and Judas betrayed him and the disciples ran away from him. And as Jesus was arrested, tortured, and crucified and buried, they would have a hard time finding peace. And then have a hard time finding it on Saturday too, when they hadn't heard anything. And even Sunday morning, they had, despite hearing the reports that the tomb was empty and that Jesus was alive and had appeared to some already, they were locked away in an upper room. And Sunday evening, not feeling peace, feeling scared. But then suddenly Jesus appears to them. And the first word out of his mouth, peace. That was the first word. Peace. He didn't say it this way, but he could have said, "You could have saved yourself a whole lot of grief if you just had believed." Believe the promise that I have the ability to provide peace no matter what's happening. And he proved it. He was alive. He was risen. All their sins, even the ones from that weekend, were entirely forgiven. They had peace with God and the peace of knowing that God would always be there for them. And you do too. You do too. Because Jesus is risen, you have peace with God and the peace of knowing that not even death will stop him from being there for you. That was enough to cause the disciples to be overjoyed. Overjoyed. And that's how David ends Psalm 7, being overjoyed, saying, I will sing to the Lord. I will sing to the name of the Lord Most High. Whether or not you got a great voice, whether or not you're able to sing with your voice, I hope your heart can sing today. Because your Savior is risen. The peace he promises is real. And he's always with you. Always. Every morning, every day, every evening. So rest well tonight, my friends.